Good morning. If you'd like to stand for your practice. Welcome on this beautiful, crisp and sunny winter's morning, Brighton. It's beautiful wherever you are. So, when you're ready, just coming to find your Tadasana, grounding yourself on your mat, preparing for your practice. Make sure the weight spread nice and evenly through the feet. Checking that your toes are nice and soft, just resting on the mat. And then relaxing the legs. A little lift in the kneecaps and thighs, giving a sense of rooting down into the earth through those legs. At the same time as we lift gently up from the waist, through the spine, to the top of the head. Bring your awareness to your back as subtle lift in the pelvic floor. Engaging Mula Bandha, the low tummy drawn in and up, engaging Uddiyana Bandha, to fly up, that sense of gently elongating through the waist, and we'll continue this up through the neck, using Jalandhara Bandha if you're aware of your Ujjayi breath. Please feel free to use that throughout your practice. If it's new to you, don't worry, just listen to your breath. Take a nice few deep breaths as you let your shoulders drop away from your ears, your arms hang loose by your side. Become present and aware in the moment. And it's our important just for you. And then when you're ready, we're going to interlace our fingers and bring ourselves into our warming breath. Do the knuckles underneath the chin, wrists are together, elbows if you can, but no forcing, no straining, don't pull them together hard. Just see what happens when you're ready. Inhaling and exhaling. Deeply in and then out through the mouth, releasing the head. In through the nose, out through the nose. In through the nose, out through the mouth as we soften the head. It's a series of 4. The last one, opening the mouth. Beautiful waves of breath. Following your breath, you might have to go a little faster or a little slower, depending how your breath's moving today. Follow it. Rooting down into the ground, feeling those shoulders gently opening, softening back a little further into the neck each time, never forcing, just explore. 3 more, and 2, as those elbows come a little higher, a little closer together, and a final one. And in your own time, releasing. Back to your Tadasana for a moment. Back to your breath. Remember, always, go at your pace. Listen to your breath. That's our main key all the way through. I'm really regretting sanitizing my hands just before I came in here because I think this is going to get a little bit slippy. Hopefully that will disappear. So, when you're ready, we're going to start warming up our spine, side bends, back bends, front bends. I'm going to do my best to mirror you, so please excuse me if I get these to the right one. When you're ready, hands to prayer. Inhale, sweeping arms wide and high, clasp the palms together, gaze point forward. Relax the shoulders away from the ears as you lift through the floor. Come up and over to your right, pressing out gently into the left hip, keeping nice even weight through the feet. And most importantly, beautiful alignment through hips and shoulders. No twisting, no buckling, just exploring with the breath. Breathe as we inhale, feel the space. Exhale, exploring checking in with the body as we come over to the left, feeling the stretch down the right hand side. Checking in with that alignment, gaze point straight ahead of you, nice even weight through the feet, beautiful soft turn, subtle lift in the thighs. Engage the balance for 3, press away into that right hip. Feel the space on the inhale, palms together if you can. One more breath, bend arms if it's too much on the shoulders, or lengthen if you can, and inhaling back to center. Then our first with our back bends, softening the knees, releasing the head back, push the hips forward as you trace a line across the seat. If that feels too much on your lower back, please take hands to the hips, supporting that lower back nice and strongly, and encourage those hips to push forward. Breathe, and releasing back on the exhale. Feel the chest lift as you inhale, push the hips subtly forward. One more breath, relax back into it, trust your foundation, and inhale back to center. Lifting up through that center, core is strong as we exhale, hold forward. Use hands on the thighs if you wish, for support for the back, or onto those forearms. Or eventually we're getting the bladder, the stomach, the ribs and the chest down onto those thighs. Don't worry about how bent or straight those legs are, just listen to your edge. If you're confident and happy there, hanging upside down, grab the ankles, let the head go, and breathe. 3, glide the legs a millimetre straighter on the exhale. 2, lift the pelvic floor, keep the shoulders soft. One more breath. Release the head to the ground as you push into the floor gently, and releasing. Breathe back to center. Palms together, core strong. Lift and release. And coming straight back in for your second set. Deep wave of inhale. Switch those arms high and wide. Plant the palms together. Gaze point forward. Don't hunch the shoulders to the ears. That tenses the top of the back. Roll the shoulders back and down, and glide the arms as straight as you can. Lift up and out of the waist as you inhale, and exhale over to your right. Up your breath, taking over, just exploring and finding your edge, checking in with your alignment. Then 3 deep breaths. Feel the expansion in the ribs. Pull the tummy in as you glide a little further. 2. One more breath. Root to the ground, grow long through the spine. And inhaling your way back to center. Gaze point stays straight ahead of you the whole time. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, up and over to your left. If you can, we're keeping the palms linked together. You might like to interlace the thumbs or the fingers if you wish. But make sure there's no tension there, it's soft, as are the shoulders. Then 3 deep breaths, tummy strong, lift the pelvic floor. 2, feel the space in the ribs, lift the pelvic floor. 1 more breath, up and out of the waist as you press away into that right hip. And inhaling your way back up to center, to find that back bend. Soft knees, soft neck. Push the hips forward as if there's a tug of war around those hips. The pubic bone specifically that's travelling forward towards the front of your mat as we open up through the hole at the front of the body. Relax the neck and breathe. 3, releasing back a little further. 2, just exploring your edge for 1 more. And a deep wave of inhale back to center. Lengthen up into it and fold forward as you exhale. Hands to knees. If you wish, always support that back. As soon as the ribs hit the thighs, the back is naturally supported, so we can get rid of those arms. We can have them on the floor if you need a little bit of extra balance, or we can take them onto the ankles. With the head of the broad or ragdoll, release as much tension as you can in the neck and the shoulders. Shoulders are not rounding towards the ears, but travelling down and away, or up as we're upside down, towards the hips, gently. Keep them as soft as you can as you engage that core.
3. Toes soft as we press into the feet. 2. Even weight through the feet, not all in the heels or all in the forefeet. 1 more breath, ripple that spine over as we pull down with those banders. And releasing, palms together, core strong, push and lift and release. And breathing there as we prepare for our third and final set. Deep wave of inhale, sweeps the arms wide and high. Gaze point forward, soften the shoulders. Inhale, push to the floor as we lengthen to the sky and come up and over to your right. Gradually feeling that stretch down the left hand side of the body. Hold your ground on the inhalations. See where the exhales take you with a strong tummy, beautiful alignment. Power in that belly. 3. Exploring a fraction deeper if you like. 2. Pressing away into that left hip. 1 more, root to the floor, grow long through the spine, and inhale your way all the way back up to center. Inhale, lift through the waist, long through the neck and the whole of the spine as we come over to the left. And breathe your way into it. Just taking over there for a moment, finding your alignment. Feeling where your edge is, releasing into anywhere that's feeling tension. 3 deep breaths, exploring that little bit further. 2, lift the thighs, root into the feet. Feel that breath moving in the body, lengthen through the fingertips, and inhaling back to center. And coming into our back bend. Soft knees, soft neck.
Remember, back bends are about front opening, so we're creating more space through the front of the thighs, through the front of the hips, through the front of the torso, the chest is lifting up, and the shoulders are dropping back. 3, trace that line across the ceiling. 2, soften into the knee. 1 more breath. And inhaling your way back up to center, lifting through and folding forward. Length, keep that sense of space through the front of the body as we elongate over those thighs. So gradually over time, the ribs come a little further down the thighs. The head will come further down, past the knees. As we hinge deeper into the hips and the hamstrings lengthen. Find your edge, breathe into it where you are. Feel it moving gradually. Listen to that breath. Hold your ground on the inhale, exploring a fraction deeper on the exhale. 3. Hanging out to the hips, give the body's weight down to ground. 2. Band is lifted, pulling down with that time. 1 more breath, pressing into the floor, gliding those legs just a millimetre straighter. And releasing, arms together, push to the floor, lengthen, and release. Fantastic stuff. Come back to your Tadasana for a moment. Back to your breath. And we're setting feet here, hips width distance apart for our awkward postures, so you can use the foot twiddle technique to judge that distance if you like, or heel toe out. Just make sure your feet are beautifully parallel as we bring the arms to shoulder and lift the toes. Inhale, zip up through the core. Exhale, squat down as if into a chair just there behind you. Keep the tummy pulling in towards the spine, lifted through the core. 3 deep breaths, gaze point straight ahead as you lift the toes. 2, bend a little deeper if you can, shoulders back and down, chest forward. 1 more, sit into the chair, lift the toes, and release. Then coming high up onto the toes and forefeet. Lift those heels as high as you comfortably can. And when you're ready, keeping your gaze point, helping your balance.
Moving with your breath, bend into those knees as we start to lift the heels a little higher. Shoulders are back and down, tummy strong, keeping that balance. Breathe. Exploring a fraction deeper, strong ankles. 2. Shoulders back and down for 1. Tummy strong, lift those heels. And release. There, feet. Come a little closer together, all the way together if you like, or if you know your feet spread, as you begin to knee the toes, and keep them a little further apart. So the hands come down, the knees come down, sitting the hips back towards the heels. If you're comfortable taking the arms to shoulder, that's great. If you need a little bit of weight into those hands, feel free. But check in from under with those feet that they're staying nice and parallel. 3 deep breaths, balance working, tuck under into the tail. 2, shoulders soft as we lean back a little further. 1 more breath. And slowly coming forward, take the hands to the floor, pressure the knees off. Lengthen as you inhale, drop the body onto the thighs as you exhale. Feel the heels extending down towards the ground. You might be able to get them to reach the floor, they might be a good way off. It doesn't matter at all, just find your edge. And breathe. So hopefully here we're feeling a nice stretch through those arms as we encourage the heels lower. We're feeling a length through the spine, because that really helps to release into the hips. 3 breaths, soften into the neck and the shoulders. 2, taking the hands off if you found your point of balance there. 1 more breath. And release it. Coming back up. Nice and slowly if you need to, or slow to 90, and firing into those thighs for a week. Going into our second set. Hips width distance once again. Beautiful parallel feet. Arms to shoulder, lift those toes. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squatting down. Doesn't matter how far you come, just explore where's right for you today. As you come deeper, check that your knees are staying beautifully parallel over those feet. We're coming forward over the toes. Lift the toes and shift the weight back into the heels. Just 2 more breaths. Power in the belly, lift the pelvic floor. 1, and release it. High up onto toes and 4 feet. If you're feeling it in the knees, you might want to just lift those heels a little and bend down first before we lift those heels. See what works for you. Find your breath, find your edge. Keep the power in the core, keep breathing. 3 deep breaths. Lift the heels a little higher. 2, engage those backs. 1 more, bending knees. And releasing. Then feet come together. Hands and knees down to the floor, or if you can lean so far back in this posture that your knees become light, feel like you're toppling backwards, then come into the pure balancing posture. You can come straight down from standing into the pure balancing. And make sure your gaze comes on the floor so that you can see those knees coming closer and closer to the ground over time. Find your edge today. 2 more breaths, shoulders up. Lift the banners, feel the breath moving through the body. And then coming forward. Hands into the ground, lift the knees up. Inhale, lengthen through the torso. Exhale to roll the body onto the thighs. Make a gap between the knees if you need one. And we're going to let the chin drop towards the collarbone a little more. Gaze on here. Here's the belly button. All down towards the mat behind you. Listen to that breath. Feel all that beautiful space opening through the back of the body. 3 deep breaths. And 2. Explore those rounders here. 1 more breath. Press the heels towards the ground.
slowly if you wish, or slow to 90, and then firing into those thighs for a minute. A little sip of water if you need one. Good. Whatever works for you. So next we're coming into the first of our single leg standings. This is Garudasana, eagle posture. We start with our Tadasana, listening to our breath. Inhale, come to prayer. Inhale, sweep the arms wide. Exhale, right elbows, left elbow, swings underneath the right. Gaze point forward, bind in front of the face, soft shoulders, lifted core. As we breathe that left knee up. Leaning forward as much as works for you. We're going to bend that standing leg. Keep the core strong and sit down into that chair as deep as you can today. Inhale, take the left leg up and across whenever you need to. If you need to take it over earlier, please do. If you want to hold on longer, please do. Shoulders soften, lift the core. There's no daylight between these two thighs. If you can, that foot is coming around towards the back of the opposite leg. 2 more breaths as we explore a fraction deep. 1 more, core is strong, bend that knee. And releasing arms wide, and down. Remember to use your drishti, your gaze point straight ahead of you. Really helping with our balance. Inhale wide, exhale left elbow, swings underneath the right. Shoulders backing down, lift the core and breathe that right leg higher for breath. Lengthening forward. Bending into that knee, so arms down. Deep in, deep out. As we squeeze that right leg up and across, close the gap between the thighs, and notice, particularly if you're coming into that rack, how your hips are being twisted to the left. We want to twist them back to the right, keeping them square with the shoulders. 2 deep breaths, bending into that left knee. 1 more, lift the core, soften the shoulders down with the elbows, and releasing arms wide, and down. Calm the breath there, and our second set. Inhale, sweeping wide, exhale, left elbow, swings underneath the right. Shoulders away from the ears, relax the neck and the shoulders, grow tall as we lift the banners and the left knee. This might be your edge for today, that's absolutely fine. If you've got your balance, then leaning forward and bending down into the knee. We're able to get as close to a 90-degree bend as you can, and then we take that left leg up and across. Close the gap between the thighs, and pelvic floor is lifted, shoulders are soft. Feel the hips being twisted to the right, fall back to the left. 3, and the knee fraction deep. 2, 1 more breath, sit down, soften shoulders, draw down with those elbows, and release, arms wide, and down. Deep breath there, bring the hands back to prayer. Final set, final side. Sweeping arms wide. Exhale, right elbow underneath the left. Bind in front of the face, lifted core, breathe that right knee high. When you're ready, lean forward as much as works for you. And bend as deep as you can into that left knee. Inhale, draw the right leg up and across. Push it down on top, closing the gap between the thumbs. If you're in the full wrap, see if you can elongate those toes a little further down towards the foot. 3 breaths, twisting hips to the right. 2, shoulders soften away from the ears, down through the elbows. 1 more, bending deep, and release, arms wide, and down. the back of your right hand begins to puff up and hold the breath. We're going to hold the breath for quite a while, so if there's any inclination to dizziness, make sure you're seated, cross-legged or kneeling, whatever works for you. If you're comfortable with standing, that's fine too. See what works. Shoulders soft by the side. Beautiful straight spine. Deep, easy breathing. When we're all on an exhalation, begin to inhale now, slowly, slowly. Feel that breath coming higher and wider and deeper and fuller and all the way up to the collarbone before we exhale. Slow and steady, pacing yourself with that narrowing approach if you can. Tummy's kicking in, squeeze out that air as deeply as you can, and then inhale again. Try not to gasp the breath in, but pace yourself, filling into the front of the lungs, the back of the lungs, the side of the lungs. The last sip or suck, filling right to the top and then holding the breath there. Chin is tucked in slightly up, the ceiling off the top, shoulders roll up, back and down, arms are loose and soft by the side. Pelvic floor is lifted, tummy is strong. If you start to see stars, please let go of the breath and take some fresh air. If you've got a good one today, root into your foundation, lift through the core, long through the neck, crown of the head to the ceiling, and release. And let all that breath out. And then just take a moment there and listening for the sensations. Whether seated or standing. Just listen. And then when you're ready, we're going to start back into Tadasana. We're going to find our way into our standing head to knee. Please don't feel any pressure to get the head to the knee. There are many, many ways on the way, many, many places to stop, so just listen to your edge and see what's working for you today. If you need to back off, come out. Always follow your breath. So first of all, we're interlacing the fingers and bringing the right leg off the ground. Take those hands around the top of the knee. Breathing the knee in and up towards the chest. The standing leg is lifted and strong. The spine is lengthened, the shoulders back and down. If the knees high to the chest, you can start to walk the hands down one at a time, squeezing deeper as you go. Eventually, we're hooking up with that forefoot. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, kicking out if that's you today. If not, stay where you are. Lifting through the core. 3, shoulders back and down forever. 2, lift the standing quad as you push into the floor. 1 more, ripple the spine longer, and release, bend the knee back up, straighten the body, and then release. So never putting strain on that lower back. Then shifting to the other side. Interlacing fingers, breathing the left knee off the ground, a nice strong bind high up on that knee. Root into your foundation, feel strong and steady. Staying vertical, your gaze points straight ahead of you. If you're kicking forward, your gaze points on the floor about 1 meter in front of those right toes. Walking down if you wish. Eventually hooking up with that forefoot. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, kick straight out in front of you or a little higher. Don't drop the heel below the hip or you'll strain the low back. 2 more breaths. Power in the belly, standing quad lifts. 1 more, shoulders away from the ears, ripple that spine longer, squeeze with the arms, and release, bending and straightening as you go. After the breath there, and then second set. Right leg lifts once again. Root strong into your foundation, long through the spine. The majority of the power here is coming from the biceps, squeezing into that knee, and in the belly. Make sure that support is there. If you walk down and hooked up, make sure you're looking at the floor. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, kick forward. Explore your edge. It doesn't matter if that leg's not going straight, just listen to your hamstring today. 3 deep breaths. Bend into those arms. 2, power in the belly, lengthen through the spine. 1 more, root into the earth, shoulders away from the ears, long through the body, and releasing, bending, straightening, and letting go of that leg. Final set, final side. Interlace your fingers, with the left knee off the ground. Root to the floor, lengthen through the spine, and breathe. In deep out. If that means high to the chest, walk the hands down. If you're hooked up, make sure your gaze points on the floor. Inhale, straight, feel the power in the belly. Kick that leg out in front. If you can, keep a mind bending those arms. Even if you're wishing they were longer, that will bring the power into the biceps, the power into the belly, and keep you in control. Just 2 more breaths. Lift that standing forward. 1 more breath. Power in the belly. Lengthen the spine wherever it is. And releasing back to center. And let go of that. Fantastic. Do a moment back in Tadasana. Notice anywhere the body's feeling it. Soften there if you can. Listen to your breath. In any posture, if we find you're holding your breath, then back off. You've gone too far physically. We want to really make that breath the main focus all the way through. Rest will come in time. Breath is the key. So next, our counter posture. We're looking back our right foot. Elbow into the waist, down behind you if you can, or grab the outside of the foot. Both work perfectly. Left arm is high to the ear, knees come to touch. This is a back bend. So keep the gaze point nice and high this time. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale, push the knee back. Feel the space through the front of the body. And gradually and slowly lengthen the body forward as much as your hamstring can cope. Don't go past parallel with the floor. With the tummy, chest is always lifting up and forward, expanding through the front of the body. 3, kick up into that right knee. 2, reach high with that left arm. 1 more, lift the standing quad as you kick to the sky. And release, back to center. Deep breath in, and second side. Moving back that left foot, grab the outside of the foot if you like, or elbow into the waist if you're going for the inside, and breathe. Right arm reaches high, chest reaches forward, look high, and as you exhale, push the knee out and back behind you, feeling a nice stretch through the front of the thigh, the front of the hip, the front of the tummy and the chest. Exploring your edge, keeping the standing quad lifted. 3 deep breaths as you kick up into that left knee. 2, leaning forward, lifting for the sky. 1 more breath, and releasing. Back to center. In, deep out. Second set. Always take a rest if you need one. Feeling good today, go for a second set. Exploring maybe a little bit deeper. Or if you put absolutely everything into that one, you might want to go a little bit easier on the second set. Right foot whips back, elbow into the waist if you can. Or hand on the outside. Make sure you're not overstretching the shoulder if you go for the inside of the foot. And breathe. Inhale, knees come to touch to start with, so you know your hips are square. Inhale, chest forward.
The gaze point nice and high. And just holding your breath on the inhales, exploring a little deeper as you exhale. Standing quad is lifted as we tick over. And then 3 huge breaths. Power up into that right knee. 2, kick up into those toes. 1 more breath, lengthening through the front of the body and releasing back to center. In, deep out. Final side, final set. Whipping back down. Left foot. You can grab around the toes, the ankle, over the top of the foot, or the low shin eventually. Inhale, feel the chest lift forward. Exhale, forward the knee back. Inhale, feel the space. Exhale, exploring deeper. Keep standing body lifted. Feel the space through the front of the body. 3, power up into that leg. 2, lift the chest forward, lift the standing forward. 1 breath, and releasing back to center. Great start, so I'm going to sit on the water at this point if you need. Take a little moment if you wish. Just stand into Tadasana, listening to your breath. And the final one of these big 3 singular sounds. The scales, full T posture. What a beautiful, straight, strong, supported leg. The rest of the body is going to come to wherever works for you. Eventually, that beautiful square T. But keep the body straight throughout, wherever you find your edge today. As the breath. And inhale, sweep the arms wide and high, arm palms together, gaze point forward. Step up through the core and step that right foot forward. Stand strong on that one leg and gradually raise the left leg away. If you can, keep the arms high by the ears, keep the tummy strong. Too much on the lower back, you can take the hands to the aeroplane, or if you're checking in with the hips, take them to the hips. 3, lengthen through the core and out through the toes. 2, looking closer to the ground as the body comes forward. 1 more, and releasing, stepping back, arms high if you can, resting them for a moment if you need. Inhale, breathe back up if you need to. Find that straight line. Exhale, the left foot steps forward. Standing strong, rooted into the earth, light and lifted through the torso. Arms where needed for you today. Take it down. If it's too much on the lower back. If it's just too much on the shoulders, keep going if you can, building that strength. 3, 2, 1, and release. Back to the back of your mat and relax those arms. Final Tadasana again. Listen to the heart, listen to the breath. You feel, oh my gosh, I get everything. I need to sit down, please take one. Absolutely fine. Listen and breathe. We're coming into a second set, so we're going to nail that T first of all. If that's absolutely nailed today, then explore deeper. Otherwise, exactly the same again. Inhale, sweeping arms wide and high, palms together, gaze point forward. Feel the biceps glued to the ears, the shoulders hugging, the shoulder blades hugging the back of the ribs. Zip up through the core and set that right foot forward. Feel the power in right, left, raised leg, gradually lengthening around. If you're setting that T, fingertips eventually become palms. Right hand, sorry,
deep breaths if you can. For 2, long through the spine for 1, and releasing back to the centre. Stay high if you can, or breathe back up if you need for our final side. Left leg steps forward. Strong lift here. Keep the power of the right leg as you travel around the dial. You're setting that chin with a good strong standing leg, then fingertips gradually become palms. Body's peeling down towards that thigh as we take the left hand first onto that left hand. 3, kick up high into the raising. 2, if you're all the way down, the gaze points to the shin, so you're keeping that neck in line with the rest of the spine. 1 more breath if you can. And releasing back to centre. And let go of those arms. Well done indeed. Good stuff. So, we're settling down onto 2 feet now. Coming into our wide leg forward fold. So feet nice and wide. As far as you can comfortably go, feeling strong and rooted into your both feet, no slipping. We're facing the long edge of your hands to ground. Inhale, sweeping arms wide, look high. Exhale, folding forward, press the hands to the outside of the legs. Support the back. Keep a sense of space and length through the front of the body. Each inhale, the ribs are lengthening away from the hips. Each exhale, the tummy's pulling forward, taking you a little deeper. Once you reach your head, let go of the head. If you feel you could go wider, up the heels in particular, a little bit wider. And most importantly, breathe. Shoulders are never hunching towards the ears, rounding the back, but rather back and down, elongating through that spine. 3. Let go of the head, shoulders away from the ears. 2. Lifted thighs, surrender into the posture. Use those rounders. And inhaling back to centre. Use the hands or bend the knees a little if you need. On the way back up. And release. You can stay wide if that's comfortable, or come back to centre. Neutralising those hips once again, if you like, in between. Set and set. Maybe explore going a little bit wider if your head's yet to reach the floor. If it was on the floor, narrow your stance so you've got longer to stretch the spine. Inhale, sweep wide. Exhale, lengthen forward. Try not to arch the back. Try not to round the back. Keep it long as if there's a broomstick strapped to it. Thrust to your edge, wherever that may be today. Never forget to breathe. Deep in, deep out. Nice and even weight. Your heels and forefeet. Just notice it's all dumping into the heels. Then bring more into the forefeet. It's all dumping into the forefeet. Bring a little more into the heels. 2 more breaths. Ripple that spine a little longer. 1. And breathing your way back up. Reach out through the fingertips. And release. Again, stay wide if you're comfortable there. We'll come back to neutral. Tadasana for a breath before we set up for our side angle stretch. Hands to prayer. The wrist width distance this time, or as close as you can as you inhale, arms high. Exhale to shoulder. Inhale, turn the right foot out. Exhale, bend down into that knee. You want it all the way over the ankle if you can. Keep nice and rooted into that strong, straight back leg. Lengthening down. We can have the elbow bent on the thigh to support if you wish. Or if that's too easy today, straighten the arm and press the elbow into the side of the knee, bracing yourself in place. For 3, reach for the sky. For 2, lift the balance. For 1, and push the ground away, back to centre, zip up and lengthen, exhale to shoulder. Inhale, turn the right foot out, left foot in a fraction if you need, and sink into that knee. Keep the lift through the core as we windmill down, right elbow down, left elbow down, right fingertips up. Press the elbow into the knee to brace yourself in place if you're straightening that left arm. Long and strong all the way through the spine. Tuck the chin in slightly and then turn it towards the raised shoulder. Just 2. Press the elbow into the knee for 1. Lift through the core and power back to centre. And release. Straight back into our second set if you wish. We'll bring the feet together for a moment if you prefer. Second set, we're elongating or extending that top arm over the top of the head. Inhale, sweep high. Exhale to shoulder. Inhale, turn the right foot out. Exhale, bend the knee. We're moving down when you're ready. Exactly the same again if you wish. But the top arm, the left arm comes over this time. If you can, reach the floor comfortably, take the right hand to the outside of that right foot. 3 breaths. Press the knee into the armpit, pull the bicep. 2. Lift the left thigh. 1 more. Stack the shoulders, space in the chest, and releasing back to centre. Lengthen on the inhale. Exhale to shoulder. Turn the left foot out and bend into that knee. Zip up through the core and windmill down. This time that right arm coming up and over, making sure we're not dropping it to the floor, but stacking the shoulders above each other. And to the outside of that left foot, if you wish, for 3. Root into the back leg for 2. Up and back into that right rib cage for 1 breath. And power back to centre. And release. Great stuff. Take a moment of Tadasana. Take a little sip on the water if you need one. And then we're coming closer together with the elbows. Close together with the feet even. Elbows distance apart. The revolving triangle. Inhale, sweeping high. Gaze point forward, shoulders back and down. Inhale, turn the left foot in. Exhale, take the right foot out. Both legs lifted and strong as we hinge forward at the hip. The left hand comes down that right leg as far as you comfortably can. Do not bend this front right leg. It's lifted and strong. The hips are nice and square. Lengthening the spine along with the length of your yoga mat on the inhales. And if you like, introducing the twist on the exhales. 3, 2, 1 more breath. And release. Arms back together. Push the ground away. Lift. And centre the feet. And the right foot in as you inhale. The left foot out as you exhale. Square the hips to the other short edge of your mat. Lift the kneecaps and thighs, press into the floor. Lengthen the body forward, keeping the hips square, and the right hand pressing strongly down into that left leg. Travelling down the shin as far as your hamstrings can comfortably cope with. Edging your way further as they open. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist as you release the left arm to the side. And eventually higher towards the ceiling. 3, 2, lift the quads, press into the floor, long spine, and releasing back to centre. And square the feet. Then taking the hands behind you, we can grab the opposite wrist, over that thigh. Relax the neck, dropping the nose towards the knee. Keep rooted into the rear foot and gradually guide that front leg a millimetre straight. 3, tummy strong, let go of the head. 2, pelvic floor lifted, press the palms. 1, and releasing. Push the ground away back to centre, centre the feet. And the right foot in and the left foot out, squaring hips to the other end of your mat. Inhale up high, exhale lengthen forward. As you bend that left knee, and elongate the body out. Keep rooting strong to the right heel. Keep lifted in the right quad if you can, engaging that knee. Let go of the head and find your edge. 3. As we press to the floor, glide the leg a millimetre straighter. Don't force it, don't strain it, use the balance. 1 more breath. Press palms, shoulders back and down, up through the elbows. And push the ground away, back to centre. Let go of those hands and give them a good shake out. Rolling in the opposite direction, if you wish. And then we're almost there with our standing posture. So we have Utkatasana, fierce posture. And from our Talasana, mountain posture, bring the hands to prayer. Inhale, zip up through the core. Absolutely essential. Draw that tummy band into the spine, supporting the lower back as you bend the knees and lean forward. Inhale, sweeping the arms wide and high, lift through the front of the body, palms together, gaze one high as you sit down. 3, look to the ceiling and lift. 2, bend the knees, power in the back for 1, and releasing. And you feel that strongly in the lower back, have a little round forward for a moment, and breathe most importantly. And finally, our tree. So breathing the right leg first up off the ground. Could be just coming to the inside of the calf or thigh, if that feels like your edge today. Or if your hips are nice and open, bring the knee high and encourage the foot to onto the opposite thigh. Use that left hand to support it for as long as you need to. Opening up that little bit deeper into the hip. 3, shoulders away from the ears, grow a little taller. 2, root to the earth, soften the hip. 1 more breath. And releasing back to centre. Bring the knee back to centre before we let go, so we're never twisting into the knee. Zip up through the core, breathe the knee high as we lift the left foot. Again, take it to the inside of the leg if you need to, or the front of the leg if you can. Coming higher and higher in time, up towards that groin, and then finding one day you can let go of both those hands. Use one, if there's tension there, lift through the core. 3, 2, tummy strong, shoulders soft. 1, and releasing, breathing back to centre, and down, and then we're lying down on the floor. Take a little sip on the water if you need to. A bit chilly in here, so I'm just going to final glass of water. So when you're ready, we're lying down onto our backs. We're going to bring both knees up towards the chest. Our knees are aligned, our ankles are aligned. We'll lift into the hips if you like, lengthening through the low back, and then interlace the fingers around the knees, shoulders back and down. If the knees are nice and high towards the chest, you might be able to interlace the opposite elbow, If this means you're rounding the back of the body, then don't do it. We want to keep as much of the back of the body glued to the floor as we possibly can. 3, engage those bands. 2, think gently down through the tailbone, down through the shoulders. 1 more breath, lengthening from tailbone to the crown of the head as we squeeze the knees in and release. And coming into our sit-up and forward fold, we can have feet straight out and together, or if there's any niggles in the low back, use the legs to help fly you forward. Inhale. Hold your breath till you're completely upright. Power in the belly. Fire the arms forward. And let go of the breath. Have a little rock from side to side if you like. If your tailbone's feeling tucked under, use the hands behind you to support. It's all about that lift and lengthen through the spine using the bands. If you're nice and confident in that staff posture, then we can start to explore a little deeper. As you move deeper, you might have to do that little rock from side to side to release into the sit bones. Right into the heels of the palms. Keep breathing. 3, 2, 1. Soften into the backs of the knees, lengthen further through the spine. And release. There we go, knees as we come into the lunge. Support the backs of the knees as much as you need, all the way through if you wish, as long as you're lifting up and forward through the front of the torso. Release the arms if you wish, glide your legs straighter if it works for you today. 3, 2, 1. Then crossing and lifting. Second step. Same again. Support as you need. Shoulders back and down, strong, straight spine. Releasing hands if you're up for it today. 3, 2, 1. Crossing and lifting. Final one. Same again, or if you wish, cupping those heels as you bring the tummy up towards the thighs, the chest towards the knees, the crown towards the ceiling, the shoulders towards the floor. 3, 2, 1. And release. Crossing and lifting. And you up. Going a little round forward there to release into the front. And then we're coming on to our fronts. So, coming into the cobra first of all. Chin square. Fingertips placed directly underneath the top of your shoulders. Elbows tucked in towards the side of the body. Tops of the feet stay down on the ground. You can use and lift the legs, the knees might lift, but the whole of the feet stay on the floor. Our root is the pelvis, so push the pubic bone specifically into the ground. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Shoulders back and down. Up and out the elbows. 3, strong legs, lift the back. 2, up and forward through the chest. 1, look high with the eyes, but don't overcrank the neck. And slowly and smoothly, controlling on the way back down, building strength and sound. Deep breath there, and the second set. Inhale deeply, exhale, lift. Feet to the floor, lift the kneecaps if you like. Root to the hips, lift through the chest. 3, 2, 1, and releasing back down to the ground with the head relaxed to one side. The hands release by your side. And breathe. And palms face down, arms about 45 degrees away from the body, feet relax naturally apart. Understand the low. Chin is square. Deep wave, inhale, exhale, hips to the floor as we lift the legs, lift the torso, lift the arms. 3 breaths, long through the spine, hyperextend those legs. 2, lift with the buttocks, lift with the chest. 1 more breath, and releasing slowly, gently, back down to the ground. Stay here with the arms for the second set if you like, or you can raise them above the head into the superposing posture. 3 breaths. That's second set. Inhale deeply, exhale, plant the pubic bone and lift the rest of the body. Look high with the eyes, feel that stretch around the eyes. 3, out through fingers, out through toes. 2, lift the thighs from the ground. 1, and release. Then your head to the opposite side for the last time. The arms relax, the legs relax. Soften into the ground. And finally, on our front team, we're bending the knees, take the knees as wide as you comfortably can, and we're growing the outside of the feet with a good steely grip of the feet. Coming into our floor roll. Press the pubic bone into the ground. You might be able to feel a bit stretch in the thighs already. Take it easy. Remember, it's a back bend, so it's all about front opening. Inhale, feel the space. Exhale, kick the legs up and back. Looking high, shoulders soft. Feel the space in the front of the body, just exploring. Gently on this first stage. 3 if you can. 2. 1 breath. And releasing back down to the ground. And coming in to a second set. Inhale deeply. Exhale, press the hips to the floor and lift. Then deep out. If you feel the breath rocking the body, feel free to go with it. Otherwise, stay in that stillness. 2 more if you can. 1. And release. Down to the ground. Soften and release for a moment. Take as long as you need there, but when you're ready, we can come back up for our final back bend to reclining hero. So we're starting our hero posture first, separating knees. Separating ankles, if that's okay with your knees. And eventually, we're able, if it's okay with your knees, to sit down in between the heels, right back down to the mat. Don't force it, don't strain it. If you feel anything in this posture, any twinges in the knees or the lower back, then come straight out. Never about forcing or straining. Relax the head back. And gradually using the arms as support, bringing those elbows closer to the ground. If that's feeling easy today, then you can walk the elbows further forward and bring the shoulders to the ground, guiding the elbows above the head. Just listen to your edge. See where you need to be today. In deep out. And force, don't strain, back off a little if you need. 2 more breaths. And 1. And then gently and slowly breathe your way back up. Using your hands and your bands to support the back. And then we're coming into another sit-up and forward fold. Before we come into our finishing sequence. Raising the legs if you wish. A deep wave of inhale, hold this breath. Fire the hands forward. Exhaling once you're upright. Rocking them off the stand away. Give them a shift if you like with the hands. And find your edge. Deep out. Inhale, feel that sense of length through the front of the body. Exhale, folding forward. Elongating on the inhales, exploring deeper on the exhales. If you reach the ankles, you might want to start pulling back on the outside of those feet. Just make sure the soles of the feet aren't pointing towards each other, but they're pointing straight out in front of you as if you're standing on a skirting board. Just one more breath, exploring your way into it. And releasing. And we're coming to find a kneeling position. Our tortoise position. You know, you need a little gap between the knees, feel free to make one. And bring the hands to the back. Just focus on the breath. Inhale, sweeping wide, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Take hands down as soon as you need, or if you can, hovering above the mat for a moment. Then hands and elbows and forehead find the mat. And breathe. Feel the breath moving through the body. Use the exhales to release more of the weight of the hands, more of the weight of the elbows, down to gravity. We're not pushing them in, they're not hovering above the mat. It is letting go of tension wherever you go. We all hold an unconscious tension. In this beautiful inward-looking posture, we're building the awareness of where that tension is. And that awareness is the first step to being able to let it go. Wherever you notice there's tension, focus the mind there. Tell it to soften. Tell it to release. There's space on the inhale. Let go a little more on the exhale. Softening the hips, flatten down towards the heels. Feeling a beautiful sense of gentle traction through the spine. Letting go. And when you're ready, the foot to the ground if you possibly can. Lengthen on the inhale and rotate on the exhale. Feel the crown of the head lifting to the sky. Feel the pelvic floor slightly lifted, the tummy strong. 3. Looking over the shoulder gently towards the plate of the space behind. 2. Bracing yourself in place if you like. See what works for you. 1. Tummy strong, squeezing out into those organs. And releasing back to centre. Getting lots of beautifully oxygenated blood just flood back into those organs. And then over to the other side. Foot to the hip. Foot over the knees. Square through the hips. If that's too much pressure on the hips or the knees, leave that leg straight out in front of you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, rotate. Each inhale, grow a little taller. Each exhale, use the bands and twist gently through. 3, long neck, chin towards your back shoulder. 2, band is working. 1 more breath. And releasing back to center. And we can here, because we're at home, do our final breathing exercise. We're not sharing that air with anybody. So have a little clear of the throat. We'll stretch the face. We're here. Big inhales, forceful exhales, all through the mouth. When you're ready. Deep breath in, hold the breath for a moment, and all together exhaling now. Feel the tongue pulling into the spine, firing the breath out of the body. For 3, for 2, for 1, and release. And lying down onto your backs, or Savasana. If you like, take Sthasana for a moment. One final deep held breath. Every muscle in the body tense and taut, pushing to the ground, lifted thighs, front buttocks, shoulders to the floor, face front, tummy high, and then most importantly, belly up. Arms away from your sides, take your feet nice and wide, let them drop away from each other. And relax into the ground. If there's any inclination to chill in your room, cover yourself with a blanket. Relax your jaw. Allow your eyes to gently close. Feel the habitual tensions of your face just soften, melting away. As your forehead relaxes, the space between your eyebrows softens. Release around your temples and your jaw, teeth falling away from each other. Check that your throat is soft, especially if you've been shallow breathing. As the heaviness of your head relaxes into the ground, feel the space and softness created in the back of the neck, and the top of the shoulders. Feel the heavy weight of the back of the pelvis resting on the earth. feel like the areas of lightness around the lumbar spine, back to the knees, and back to the ankles, back to the wrists. Just let go. Just beautiful, peaceful stillness. Embrace the magical mystery that is you. If you have the time and the inclination today, feel free to stay longer as possible. Really appreciate the power of this beauty. And then when you're ready to come out, give a little wiggle to your fingers and toes. Come around gently and slowly. Bring your feet back together. If you like, inhale your arms above the head and exhale to an awakening stretch. Before you bring your knees up towards your chest, hugging them to you, and relaxing over onto your right hand side. Soft and heavy there for a moment. Finally come back to a seated position to seal your practice. And there you are, you've done your practice. You've invested that time and effort in your health. Congratulations. Thank you very much for joining me.